Hi, my name is Joe Grove, and if you're watching this video, chances are your wife or your significant other has approached you with the opportunity to sell LuLaRoe. I was in the same boat as you back in November 2015. We're approaching the end of June 2016. In November, I said no. So don't feel bad if you feel skeptical, for sure. I did. I was. And to the point that it actually set us back about 3 months because I didn't finally say yes until January. And, well, it ended up working out pretty well now. I wish I would have said yes in November. I thought that because I had experience with other multi-level marketing systems that Susan had tried before, that I would know what LuLaRoe was like. And, well, come to find out, I was wrong. So I'd just like to share a few things that I feel are different from the other multi-level marketing systems that Susan has tried, and why I think we've been successful with LuLaRoe versus the others. One big thing that rubbed me the wrong way with other systems is you don't have an inventory on hand. A lot of times you'll buy a kit and you'll demonstrate the product, and then a person will buy it, and then they get it later. Other times you'll have a catalog, and there's no actual use of the product before purchase. And I just don't feel like that's a good way to create or to generate interest. And people want things now. So when you have inventory on hand, they can actually touch it, feel it, try it on, buy it right then and there. If they want to buy online, that option is available too. We have the inventory on hand, so when we tell somebody it's coming, we have put it in a bag, it's coming. And when we get an order, we package that night. We invoice that night. As soon as they pay the invoice, we turn around, package it, we have it shipped out either the same day they pay or the next day, depending on how late at night it is. But I've been really impressed with how well this business can be run and how much it models a normal retail sales business or clothing retail business. With LuLaRoe, we quickly found that there was already a lot of interest out there, and in order to generate new interest, it wasn't very difficult because all you really have to do is let somebody have a party where they earn free items for hosting the party. And when the customers come who have never been customers before, people who had never heard of LuLaRoe, the interest is always positive. We haven't had a face-to-face party go bad. We usually end up with new customers, and when they come on board, they usually bring their friends on board, usually because we incentivize it, but once they bring their friends onto the sale page, it works out. I mean, if we get 1,000 people on a sale page because of a promotion we ran, we might have about 20 or 30 fall off, but everybody else stays. They might not buy that week, but they watch their friends buy, and they hear everybody or read everybody talking back and forth about the product. And before you know it, a person that's been on your page kind of dormant for 3 months pops up and likes something. The next week they buy something. Happens all the time. Another thing that I really like about LuLaRoe that was different from the other multi-levels is that with the other multi-levels that we had tried, it seemed like it was really reliant on friends and family as customers, and I just don't see that as sustainable. So you could sell to your friends and family. They might repeat buy, but that's a limited market. You only have so many friends and family, and how many of those customers are doing it out of some kind of perceived obligation? I didn't like the idea of selling to friends and family, so we cut the other multi-levels off. If they weren't successful, we would not market to friends and family on purpose. If they approached us, sure, we'd do it, but it seemed like the people who had higher sales were really pushing it down the people that they knew, kind of pushing it down their throat. And that's not really for me. That's not really for Susan. And with LuLaRoe, we haven't had to do that. We knew one person that wanted to throw a party. We threw the party. It was at an elementary school. She invited all the teachers. They had a great time. Susan had a great time. All the ladies had a great time. And sales were pretty good. They weren't astronomical. They weren't like we've seen at some of our best parties, but it was enough to get the spark going. It was the spark we needed to start the fire, where the ones that showed up joined her page, and they invited their friends based on an incentive. It was, I think we started with drawing for a free pair of leggings, and that was enough to get people to bring 100 of their Facebook friends on board, and they just stuck with us. So as the business grew, in a matter of weeks, we were at a few thousand shoppers online, and most of them we didn't know. What we found was the interest in shopping for LuLaRoe online was much more than face-to-face. So we ended up with customers all over the nation, and now, 5 months later, I would say about 10% of our customers are local. If I had to take a wild guess, I'll bet I'm pretty close if I actually put it to paper. Everybody else is all over the nation. We have people on the East Coast, people on the West Coast, and peppered all over the United States. We've even sold to family in Alaska. We get a lot of FPOAE addresses, if anybody's familiar with that. I'm a former military, so I remember what it was like trying to get packages in, and when I see those come across, I really like to take care of them. But I think it's cool we get to take care of our military families abroad. You know, you never know where they're going to be. So in that sense, we've actually mailed packages all over the world. It's been a really positive experience as far as my opportunity to get to run the financial side of things and manage an inventory. It's been pretty cool. Learning experience anyway. I'm learning all the time. And financially, it's been more rewarding than I expected. I didn't expect the money to come so fast. We onboarded in January, purchased inventory, didn't have any sales in January because it was the end of January. We received the inventory the beginning of February, and I think our sales were pretty close to breaking even on the inventory purchase. And then, we had spent about $2,000 in other startup costs. So by 6 weeks into starting the business, we had recouped our initial inventory investment, and then we recouped the other $2,000 that we spent on other equipment. And money after that, we could have maintained our inventory level at that point, but we realized that the more successful consultants were the ones who had larger inventories that turned over fast and that always had the new stuff coming in. So the more inventory you have, the more people are shopping, the faster it turns over, the more current your styles, which further feeds the machine. So we went ahead and went with the large inventory and made purchase after purchase after purchase with our earnings, and eventually reached a maintenance level of wholesale value. I think we're carrying about $15,000 worth, and I'm not sure how many pieces that is, but it's a lot. It's enough to keep a variety of clothes in, and to generate enough interest in our inventory that people are coming back repetitively. I recognize names coming across all the time. People I've never met, but I feel like I know them because I'm always mailing something to their address every week. We've had a pretty good success so far, a phenomenal success in the second and third month. Sales backed off a little bit in the fourth, and now going into the fifth. May tends to be a slower month, but even in the slowest month, which was May for us, we still did pretty good, and we still turned a profit, a good one. And I actually told Susan if she wanted to, she could quit her job this month. We're holding out a little while longer because there's some financial goals that we want to obtain. But I think it's saying a lot because she has a good job. It speaks volumes about the company that I'm comfortable with her quitting her job and doing LuLaRoe full time at this point. So there's two ways you could approach it. You could approach it as a part-time income. Mom stays at home, doesn't have anything to do while the kids are in school. She sells a little bit on the side, makes a little extra paycheck. A couple thousand in the bank at the end of the month isn't bad. I enjoy it. And the other way you can approach it is to sell and build a team. And if you choose to build a team, yeah, it's a little bit more work. You have to manage people, answer questions, but it's rewarding because you're helping the people out who now have that financial freedom or the extra paycheck in their pocket. And Susan's very happy with it, which is what was most important to me. And when the time comes and she quits her job, she'll have the time that she needs. We have a special needs daughter, and we also have a son that's a little older than her. So, the kids need a little bit more attention at home, and LuLaRoe is going to provide us the opportunity to break away and be there more for them, which I'm very excited about. And Susan's more excited than I am because she's the one that gets to quit. Me, I'll probably keep working unless the business takes off to the point that I need to quit. But I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future. Anyway, if your wife or your significant other is thinking about selling, it's a really good time to get in. The company is young, and if you look at the number of consultants out there compared to companies that have been around longer, like Advocare, for instance, a good company, I think it's a good baseline to compare to where LuLaRoe may be in 5-10 years, but they're not saturated. Their consultants do okay, and LuLaRoe is just a small fraction of the number of consultants that Advocare has. So just something to think about. I've heard that come up over and over again. Well, there may be too many consultants. Well, we get a long way to go before there's too many consultants. And the company hasn't decided to actually go global yet. So once that happens, there will be even more of a market for the clothing. But if you plan on building a team, it's really good to get in early so that you have time to be at the top of the food chain as the company grows, because that's where all the opportunity is. If you want to grow large, if you just want a part-time income, hey, great. I'm not going to lie, there's work involved. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Susan and I have, we've lost a little bit of sleep over it, especially in the first couple of months. We have some rules that we live by. We don't approach friends and family with sales. We invoice immediately after a person's done shopping, or at the end of a party, at the end of a sale day. Susan's sale day is Thursday. And as soon as a person pays, within 12 hours, they're usually packaged with a stamp on it, and the next time we leave the house, packages are in our car and going to the post office. So in order to follow those rules religiously, you lose a little bit of sleep. It takes a little bit of extra work, but your customers appreciate it and they come back to you for it. And a lot of times word of mouth will get you new customers when people know that they're going to get their product. If anyone has any questions, and man to man, if you want to call me or actually message me, you can let Susan know on her VIP page that you're looking to talk to me, or you can leave me a message on this YouTube account. That would be fine too if you just comment below the YouTube video. I'd be glad to answer questions, share my spreadsheet. It's not without sacrifice. It's an investment. It's work. But it pays off so much better than just a regular job, because you could work your butt off at a 40-hour-a-week job, put in 50 hours a week when you could have been putting in 40. You could increase sales for your company by 20%. Are you going to see 20% of the company's profits because of what you did? No, you're not. You might get a little raise. But with LuLaRoe, when you sell for yourself, the fruits of your labor are yours, not somebody else's. So that's really something to think about. You're right there at the front of the money. You're not getting a piece of it after everybody else is taking most of the pie. So that's what I like most about it. Our hard work is our earnings, and it's probably what's going to drive us to keep on doing this till neither one of us work for an employer. Not that I don't like my employer, but if they didn't pay me, I wouldn't go. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you decide to do what's best for you. We're not chasing anybody down. I don't want to twist anybody's arm to sell, because if you are not fully invested in it, then it will not be good for anybody. Just do what's right for you and your significant other, and I wish the best for you. Thanks for watching. Bye.